Have you ever burned through dozens of materials only to end up with an item that's completely useless? Or maybe you enchanted the wrong affix and suddenly your god roll turned into trash. We've all been there, and nothing feels worse than losing hours of grinding in just a few clicks. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. In this guide, I'll show you how to master every crafting system in Diablo 4. Aspects, enchanting, tempering, masterworking, and resource farming. By the end, you'll know exactly how to avoid the mistakes most players make, and how to squeeze every drop of power from your items. Aspects are the DNA of your build in Diablo 4. Using the wrong aspect seriously limits your build's potential. Aspects are obtained in two ways. When you complete certain dungeons in the game for the first time, they are added to the Codex of Power. These versions are fixed and one-time use. If you find a legendary item with the aspect you want from monsters, chests, or events, you can salvage it at the blacksmith and activate it in the Codex. If it is already active, the aspect's level increases and the bonus it provides increases. To obtain aspects or increase their level, you must initially return to places that drop a lot of legendary items, such as Helltide, Infernal Hordes, and Pit, and take the legendary item to the blacksmith to salvage them. Let's say an item's aspect is weak and you want to upgrade it. After placing any tribute in Undercity in the bargain section, choose the offensive, defensive, utility, mobility, or resource option that corresponds to the aspect you want and work on developing that aspect. In the early stages of the game, it makes sense to prioritize aspects like armor, armor percentage, and resistance for durability. Enchant. Enchant allows you to change a specific affix on an item. Please note that if the affix you want to change is a great affix, it will revert to a normal affix after the process, and the value of the item will decrease significantly. Be sure to check the View Possible Affixes tab. Seeing which affixes may appear in advance will help you avoid unnecessary attempts. It will be beneficial for you to enchant the affix you want until you get a high rate, because it's a cheap process and the values of affix are important. The item you need with 3 GAs may be very expensive. Instead, you can purchase an item with 2 GAs and a random other affix at a lower price, and add the missing affix using Enchant. Temper. With Temper, you can add additional features to your items. These additional features are almost as important as the item itself. You can select 2 options from weapons, offensive, defensive, utility, mobility, and resource. You can find the additional features you need for your build on the build pages. You have a certain number of temper attempts for the 2 options. The more GA an item has, the more attempts you get. Once your attempts are exhausted, using the Scroll of Restoration item once will reset your temper attempts. This item is obtained after completing Infernal Hordes. We have a detailed video about Infernal Hordes on our channel. You can watch it if you like. When tempering, you need to pay attention to getting the desired attribute at a high rate. For this reason, you need to use your remaining tempering attempts carefully. Even if the desired attribute comes at a low rate on very expensive items, you may have to stop because if you use up all your tempering attempts and use the Scroll of Restoration, and then reset your attempts while trying to get a high rate, and the desired attribute does not come, that item becomes useless. Masterwork. Masterwork items increase the stats of items by a percentage. A maximum of 12 Masterworks can be crafted, each increasing all stats by 5% per level. Every 4 levels, one of the stats contained in the item is additionally increased by 25%, including stats added by tempering. Generally, you need to match the stat your build needs every 4 levels. As the level increases, the required materials also increase. Therefore, if the items you have are not the final items for your build, it makes sense to leave them at lower levels or at least reach level 12. Because when it's time to replace that item, you can salvage it and recover the materials spent from levels 0 to 12. However, please note that after reaching level 12, resetting, and then reaching level 12 again, the salvage will not provide a 2 times material refund. For this reason, it would be wise to reset your stats at the first levels until you get the stats you need. For example, if you want intelligence, you need to reset your masterwork stats until you get intelligence at level 4. Depending on the amount of materials you have after getting it at level 4, if you don't get intelligence at level 8, you should reset and repeat this process. If your Obdusite materials are not enough to match the 3 stats, after getting intelligence at level 8, you should raise it to level 12. If you don't have enough Obdusite materials to match 3 features, after reaching intelligence at level 8 in the beginning, upgrade to level 12. Even if intelligence doesn't appear, don't reset it, just continue on. It is sufficient for the item to receive a 20% bonus with the upgrade to level 4. When you have enough materials in the future, you can return and repeat the masterwork process. Material resources. Managing crafting materials is just as important as managing the systems themselves. The most important materials are Forgotten Souls, Veiled Crystals, and Obdusite. To collect Veiled Crystals, go to the blacksmith and salvage them when your inventory is full during lair boss runs. Forgotten Souls can be easily gained by legions, by chasing legions. You can easily collect some other materials too. If it's hard for you to chase legions, in our Discord server we created a section that every time when legions, world bosses, and Helltide appear, you get a notification before it begins. You can join our Discord and use it as well. For Obdusite, you can quickly farm it in Infernal Hordes, Nightmare Dungeon, and Undercity using the Tribute of Refinement. Now you know the full picture. Aspects give your build its identity. Enchanting lets you refine. Tempering pushes items into greatness. And masterworking is the true endgame power boost. Combine that with smart material farming, and you'll never waste another resource again. Every mistake you've made in the past can now be avoided. Every upgrade can now be a step toward perfection. So here's my challenge for you. Take what you've learned today, go into the game, and transform one of your items tonight. Then come back and tell me in the comments what worked for you. Together, we'll build the most powerful characters in Diablo 4. Until next time, farm smart, craft smarter, and may RNG always be on your side.